So it was actually when Michael Jackson passed away that I started collecting records, because that's when, you know, Thriller was everywhere. My mama used to take us to Half Price Books. And so I never thought about getting physical records, even though it had somewhat been around me. And that really inspired it because my brother and I love him so much. And then it went from finding samples. So I knew like Janet Jackson, Ladies of the Canyon, Joni Mitchell, she sampled that. So that was my second record. I was really big into Jimi Hendrix and just interesting covers and all those things, but that's what started it. I love this question. How I create a meaningful experience with my collection. I feel like the music does that itself with the medium of vinyl, because you're listening to the album in its intended form as a whole. And I feel like that's what inspired me as a DJ in general, because of course I only had one at the time, was that the music you're listening to, obviously its messages are affecting you. And so I used to sit and think when I was younger that like, I guess the more uplifting messages you listen to, the better. And it just was typically in this medium where you find like jazz, soul, that was just very uplifting. I think you'll hear it in some of the songs on my playlist, like The Key, Hubert Laws. That was one of the first records that really got me into digging. And so that's why now with this mission I have, Soul Purpose, music with message and purpose, that really stemmed from that. Some recent purchases, of course, the one and only Cleo Soul, got some imports. Gold and Heaven, I think you can see it behind me. Kamasi Washington, Harmony of Difference. If you can find this one, shout out to Sammy at the album back home in Kentucky. I just got Janae, because these singles are hard to come across. So classic, Hey Mr. DJ, and I'm really excited about that. Invincible, childhood fave, one of my favorite MJ albums, top to bottom. It's beautiful, so it's a childhood fave. And then you ain't gotta say much about Brandy. I'm super excited. Full Moon, you know. I got new DJ Spinner, Carmen Rogers, his latest remix, Again and Again. Check that out. And a Serato promo. It's a white label, I Can't Shake Your Love. And yeah. All right, my favorite Black-owned label has to be Forever Living Original. Shout out to Nathan Burke, and he hosts a group named Salt. They are my favorite band. So these are my imports that I have up here. The rest are at home in Kentucky. Today and tomorrow, it's got a nice poem on it that you can read. That's why it's nice to collect records. 5, which is their first album. It's got my favorite joint, Up All Night, and Air, which is their orchestral component to their discography. And I need the first one, so this is Air 2. And 11, beautiful album of their 5-piece release. And then This Is God, that I have doubles on. And I really rock with Salt because their messaging is impeccable and revelation through the music. I really love their message. So shout out to you, Nathan and Salt, and all the individual members. I love y'all. I love y'all. It's all love. So as far as rare, obscure records go, I really love this one. Steve Lacy, The Forest and the Zoo. He was the saxophonist for The Loneliest Monk, who I'm also a very big fan of and appreciate his approach to music. So this is pretty cool. And I love playing 45, so I found this back home in Louisville. It's pretty special to me. Put a Smile on Time by a group called Rhythm Machine, and it's a very hard record to find, so this is a single off of that album, and I got 2 of the 45s. Shout out to Mr. Ben, Better Days West. And then I had to highlight, because I couldn't put it on my playlist, unfortunately it's not on DSPs, but Kitty Haywood, and she sang background for Rotary Connection, and this has one of my favorite songs. It's called You Can Be What You Want to Be. It's a magical song, so I would definitely recommend y'all checking this out, and it's a favorite of mine. Yeah. Personally, I feel like sisters are very much willing to share in a very thorough and felt manner. Like, hey, this means so much to me. I'm gonna pass it down to you. I'm gonna give it to you. So that sisterhood, on top of having this niche or interest being so specific, it just deepens. And as far as the Black community as a whole, I feel like it's very important for us to recognize tangibility is very much needed in knowing and telling our history. So it's just more encouragement to tap in. Whether you're the one playing, spinning the records, encouraging someone else to get into records, or just listening, like someone who loves going to vinyl sets. Obviously, our music as Black people is the most influential. So just keep listening. That's how I think it will impact and continue to influence us as Black people and Black women. If you want that, like, you know, your favorite record on wax is like something that doesn't seem rare enough, don't worry about that. Just get what you love, and then you're gonna read the notes, read the linear notes, because you're gonna learn more. Oh, I read this name, and subconsciously, when you out digging, you're gonna be like, I'm gonna get that, and you're just gonna learn. You absorb so much with this medium, so it's such a beautiful thing. Just be you. It sounds cliche, but it's the really only thing. Whatever you like, get that.
Have fun.
Have fun. There you go. Yes, it's all fun. It's all love. There you go.
Cool.
Yeah, we keeping that one.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. I feel like as a Black woman contributing, you know, keeping needed voices alive. Think about the impact that you as a person, you have your tastes and your unique perspective. My unique perspective as a Black woman. And all these voices, these records came out years ago, some 30 plus, and just by spinning it, you're sharing a memory. That's a beautiful thing. So that's what I hope to contribute. Just keeping the memory.